Okay, this is Tackett's Canyon, right near Palm Springs, about a 5-minute drive from where I'm staying at. That's the visitor center in the front there. Don't think I'm going to visit this one, although I may return. Here I am at the Indian Canyon, and I'm getting ready to venture off onto the Andreas Canyon Trail. It's a half-mile loop. I'm standing in a desert oasis, so if you're wondering why this is very foresty looking, it is. You can probably hear the stream running through. And all along that stream, you can see all the different palm trees and other kind of trees, which is quite a contrast to what's out in the valley there, where it's back to your scrub brush and that sort of stuff. Here's the trail ahead of me. More palms. And then straight up cliff. This is part of the palm tree. You can see it starts at the bottom of the trunk, and then there's all of this stuff. And then the palms at the top. And here's another view of the little corridor that I'm sort of walking down now between the palms and the rock. Can't get over all these palms and how tropical it looks, and yet I'm dressed like this again today to keep warm. One thing I like about this place is how most of the homes are made to look like they blend right in. See, there's one in center view. There's one on top of that hill. It's even hard to see zoomed in. The more you look, the more houses you find, because they're just built to blend in. You can see up here is a patio, kind of deck, sticking out a little bit at the very edge of that cliff. Straight ahead, there's a couple of houses in this view right now. See if you can find them. I think this is where my trail kind of turns and heads back toward the parking area for this short little venture, but here's a 360-degree view of what I'm looking at myself. Pretty amazing. Here's my trail from the oasis back to this. Sweet example of frost wedging that, as I move in, see the size of this crack that the ice caused. You can see it's about as wide as two of my hands even. Quite amazing. I just can't get over how this is sort of like you imagine the deserts in the Sahara or other places when you see in the movies with the dying for thirst, and then they luckily come upon an oasis, and it's pretty cool because it's kind of just like that. Apparently when I get around to the Palm Canyon, it's even more like that. You can imagine the water currents it took to move these boulders to their current locations. And this wall here is a neat example of how the sediments are depositing. See, there's even soil, other weathered elements that are deposited along with larger rocks. And over time, and more sediments built on top. They'll eventually be compacted and cemented together, forming a sedimentary rock. Can anyone name what type of sedimentary rock will it be if those rock pieces stay the same size and don't further weather? Alright, thought this would be a great place for another 360 view. You can really see a big stand of the palms straight ahead. I'm not sure how the lighting is in this, but that's ahead of me on the trail. Fan back a little bit so you can see that entire mountain. Might have to fan back even more, and now we're good. Well, I'm nearly back to where I parked. The Andreas trail is a nice little stroll. Maybe I can get into something a little more exciting. Cool cactus. Man, I wish the sun were behind me. That stand of trees is really pretty with the mountains and everything behind it, but I don't know if the lighting's going to do it justice here. I will tell you that when it comes to being in mountain lion country, I do prefer the mostly sand and not much brush. This sure does provide a lot of cover for mountain lions. Don't like it too much. Here we've come across the village. You can see there's a hut there. Back behind that rock, there's a hut there. Looks like a table maybe, and maybe a meeting place. If you notice, you can see how these sticks from vines have been twined together, and it's been filled in with the palm fronds, and look how thick that is. It probably keeps you nice and dry. In fact, you can see where the wet soil from last night's rain begins and where the dry soil from inside the house is. And let's just kind of take a little look-see inside. Got some places to sit inside. Got your campfire. You got your ventilation, so you don't die of carbon monoxide poisoning. It's actually kind of pretty in here. The palm fronds almost make it look sort of like there's a design on the wall. Very cool. I'd always imagined that the Native Americans just, used their pot out in the fields, or maybe they had dug latrines or something like that. But that age-old question has been answered, because very close to the huts that I just showed you, I found these. Take a look. So there you have it, where the Native Americans did their business.